Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters. I just want to talk about a few things. As we know, today is Martin Luther King Day. A lot of people have been celebrating it and, about the unity we were supposed to have this place called America. Well, as anything, if we've been watching TV or elections and all the things that has happened in the past, and it hasn't been that long of a past. This is the most recent. It's been shown as division, and we have been divided amongst the other nation. Now, me personally, I'm okay with that if that's where we have to go, because the one thing I realize is that when you try to cohabitate with another nation, you have to realize that you become that nation. You do what the nations do, and you forget your way. And so this segment today is going to talk about segregation. Um, this is my personal opinion. People don't always have to agree with me. Some people are going to say, no, I don't agree with it. Some people may agree with it. I feel that at one point of our lives in our past, I can't say I was there, but hearing the stories of my elders and what they mentioned to me was the worst thing they could have done was integrated. They said they had prospered and did better being separated from the other nations. When the integration took place, the jail cells was filling up quicker. Black businesses went completely down to the lower percentage. Education of who we were went almost completely away till we get 28 days of talking about all the things that we have done. So a lot of things negative had took place when the integration took. So what I feel, and this is just my opinion, that, it's not about hating the other nation. That's not what my mindset is. But it's about loving oneself first and then loving your own people. This is where we lost our way. Now, does that mean that we're not going to have bad apples in our people? Well, no, we're going to have that. That's been history foretold. And that's in any nation. But the problem is that we can't trust each other anymore. We're so busy trying to fight against each other. Like I call it, was a crab in a barrel, which is ridiculous. And I get it. Please understand. I understand the root of why we are the way we are, because we have been beaten so bad and to the point where we were forced to trust the other nation and not trust our own brothers and sisters. So Martin Luther King Day was representing the equality and, equal rights and all the things that we were supposed to have while we're in this land. But one of the things I realized is that out of that march and the talk of equal rights, has really anything changed much? Because our black people, our brothers, are still being shot in the middle of the streets, locked up unfairly, unjustly. We get the harshest punishments. We still get ridicule. We still get prejudice against us. I mean, it still shows as if we were still back in 1800s all the way up to the 1970s or 80s, whatever it felt like it was a little bit relief. It still shows today. So this is my segment to say, why is that? What is the reason that we're so persecuted? Like we constantly have to go out and do something to somebody else when most of the time we really don't. Because if you go back in history and think about it, when we were segregated away from the other nation, we were doing fine. We were prospering because remember, they wouldn't give us anything. So we had to do our own thing. And as we remember the history from Tulsa, Oklahoma, to all the other different states, to Florida, to Rosewood, to, these different places that were prospering, black tax, we were fine. We were good. But as anything, jealousy takes place. And so, because you see another nation is doing what they do, and they're like, well, wait a minute, they doing better than I am. So we gonna have to do something to tear them back down. As soon as you get ahead, then you get knocked back down because they don't want you to come together. As long as you have the mindset to believe that you are equal to your counterpart, then you are truly mistaken. Please understand something. Have you ever really went to your job and your human resource and asked them this question? Just say, hey, can I see what is the true pay to what I'm supposed to be paid to my counterparts? Can I see to make sure that we are even, because I'm doing the same job as my counterpart, so I should be getting equally paid of what they get paid, from man to woman to black to white to whatever color you are. But we already know that it's not happening. It's not. And as many people say, well, it's working on the change. We're definitely doing better. Okay, but where does it show? We just had this past election, and it was, I don't even know what the words to say for that. I really honestly don't. I pretty much laughed through the whole process. It was truly hilarious. I said, in my years of being on this earth, in the time frame that I have seen different presidents, and please believe me, not one of them ever did everything completely right. Okay, even with President Obama, I'm sorry, I am black. He is not fully black like me. He is of African and Gentile. So he is a Hamite and a Gentile. That is what he is. He is not a Hebrew. But because he is a black skin, most people gravitate to him as inspecting that he is one of us, which he is not. Now, was he the people president? Yeah, I'll give him that. He was the people president. And I'm not here to bash President Obama. There are some things that I do agree that he did, and there's some things that I don't agree what he did. That is my opinion. But as I digress and I move forward. But I do say, in all things, we have to look at your history. You have to realize that, where was our best time? No, I don't believe that the best time of saying, okay, it was beautiful, but when we were together, because we knew our own people, we dealt with our own people, we had to, but also it made us start loving each other as well, because we have been done so wrong. I mean, when I say wrong, the foul land of this land. This land has been defiled from the murders, the castrations. I mean, just more than I can say. And most people want to try to forget it, but you know what? I choose not to forget it, because I'm always going to remember of what has happened. Because if you try to forget your past, it can repeat itself again. And you're not protected of yourself. Please understand that. So, do I sit and say, oh, all of them are bad? No, I'm not saying all of them bad, but please, it's few. It's a lot of them that do not like us. Some tolerate, some okay. It is what it is. But I say this because at the end of the day, understanding that some people, as I do not agree with the integration. I believe in a segregation. I truly do. I don't say that I can't work among them, because I can. But we already know, when they get amongst their own people, how and which way they conduct themselves. Just like when we get amongst our own people, how and where we conduct ourselves. It is a known fact. And no matter how many people say, well, no, I don't do that. I love everybody else. That's a lie. You don't love everybody else. you tolerate, just like everybody else do. We tolerate, we work through it until the days become better. And that's just typical. But one of the things I wanted to look at was in the scripture, Exodus 34:12. It kind of gives you a just of when it says no covenant with the inhabitants of the land. So Exodus 34, starting at verses 12. This all comes from the Creator Yahweh. He says, take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, whether thou go, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous Elohim. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, they go whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice, and thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, to make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. Thou shalt make thee no molten images. So, why is it that the Creator made it very clear about not cohabitating with other nations? Because think about it. If a other nation doesn't have a clue about how we are and how we're supposed to be, you're going to end up following behind what they do. And you're going to do exactly the same thing they do. So that means you're pulling away from the Creator himself. And he doesn't care for that at all. So, do I believe in interracial relationship? No, I don't. Because you take away the pureness. Does that mean that I'm all about white supremacists? No. Or black supremacists? No, that's not the thought process. But I do believe that we should be within our own. I do understand that we need to know who we are first. Understand who we are. Get back into our own nativity and how we supposed to live and eat and understand and deal with life on a regular basis. I don't believe that you go with another nation and then you follow behind them and forget who you are as a people. Do I accept that I am a black woman? Yes, I do. Am I ashamed of being a black woman? No, I'm not. Am I angry at a black woman? No, I am not. Actually, I'm very sweet, but I'm very honest and open to how I am as a woman. I do not shy away from or put my head down for being a Hebrew Israelite, because that's what we are. If you were born here and your parents was born here and your great parents and they were slaves before the other parents, then guess what? You are a Hebrew Israelite. Your forefathers was brought on these slave ships, just like my forefathers was brought on these slave ships as well. And it already foretold in Deuteronomy 28 that's the case what's going to be. I say this every time I do my YouTube. I petition you to read the book. Get you a Hebrew concordance. Get you the actual King James Version Bible. Also, if you want to, you can get this Bible as a Hebrew Bible. The author is Ann Spangler. You can get it off of, general editor, I'm sorry. Ann Spangler. You can get it off of Amazon for about $20. And it really breaks it down who we supposed to be serving and how we were supposed to be living amongst each other. We have become a lost nation. Don't forget that. You are a nation. It's within you. And some people don't want you to know that. Everybody else know, but it seems like most of my other people do not know. And some don't want to know, and that's fine. I can't force that on you. That's a choice that you have to make. And I do understand that in all actuality, even if you don't make the choice will be made for you as time go down. So I say this out of love, and please don't take offense. So when I speak about my perspective of this Martin Luther King Day, he had a great vision. He did have a good vision of what he thought could be a better nation for America in the time that he was out there doing it. But if you really read and go back in some of Martin Luther King's documentary, he also mentioned before his death that he has gave his people to the devil. Look it up. There's a documentary that says that once he realized that possibility trying to be integrated may not been the best thing for us, and that's just being honest. I don't hate other nations, because so don't take my words of, oh, you just hate all the nations, because I don't. I have no reason to hate in that way. But I have a perfect hate if they hate the creator. That is the difference. And that's also in the word. The one that hates the creator of all things, I have a perfect hate against them. Because at the end of the day, he is the Elohim of all Elohims. And all the ones that people worship and do all the different things that they do, he still is the number one living Elohim. And his name is Yahweh. Living. He didn't die and rose. He is living and still living to this day. Okay? So when you get an opportunity, read Isaiah 45, read Exodus 35 and verses 12. There's plenty of scriptures that I can throw out to you to get you to just open the book and read, because what is being shown is happening from this book today as well. So I say shalom and peace be with you. I appreciate you listening and viewing my YouTube videos. I do want to apologize because this was actually supposed to have been posted on Sunday, but I was so tired that I refused to give you a half done presentation or YouTube segment. So I waited till today when I had a little bit more refreshed eyes, refreshed face, with my smile, to give you the love that I want to give you, because I love you, brothers and sisters. I do truly love you, and I want you to know who you are and how you supposed to live. Sorry, I forgot to turn it to silent. And just, petition me. If you feel like that the segregation was not a good thing, or the integration was, comment on my YouTube page. Is definitely, Yamina Yisrael. And just let me know. I take all constructive criticism. It doesn't bother me at all, because a dialogue is very important. If we can't have a dialogue, even if you don't agree with it, because I may not agree with what you say, but it doesn't mean that I can't listen to your perspective of how you feel about a situation. Just like I think in respect of listen to my perspective of how I feel about a situation. So at the end of the day, the dialogue is open. So I say that to end this conversation. Be blessed. Be prosperous. Love one another. Open your heart to your brothers and sisters, because it gives you a way of life. And even if they do hurt you once, doesn't mean you close your heart to all of us, because you're going to have that bad apple, and it's there. Doesn't mean that life is going to stop because you had one. But there's a lot of love that should be given amongst our people. Okay? So be blessed.